All right, happy day, leaders. This is your leadership coach, Quincy Jackson, and I am here today once again to give you some insights on some reasons why you may not be getting promoted as fast as you want to, and some things that may be holding you back that you may not even be aware of. So, thank you so much for joining me in today's episode. I'm so excited and thrilled as always to have you here with me. And once I learned what I'm going to share with you today, it literally changed my whole thought process about what I was doing, why I was doing it, and maybe it made me reconsider if it was actually holding me back one way or another when it comes to earning my promotions in any job and definitely increasing my leadership effectiveness. Now, if this is your first time joining this podcast or this YouTube channel, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for finding us. We've been putting content out here for quite a while, and we just want to grow and give not only more value to you as the observer, but we want to make sure that we're giving you absolutely the best content possible to improve your leadership effectiveness, grow your teams, and ultimately help you earn not only the authority and respect in your industry, especially if you're working in corporate America today. I worked in corporate America for many years. I've seen a lot of different people come and go, especially when you work in companies that have a high turnover. But what I want to do is help those that enjoy what working in those environments can offer them as far as a feeling, a sense of security, also the collaboration, the connection that you make there. But it's something very valuable to be said about growing in your industry and your company, especially in today's economy. So I'm excited to go through this with you, and let's just go ahead and dive right in. I just ask that you like the video if you like it, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content just like this, and lastly, share this with someone that you think might benefit from it, because I think that I know it's benefited me, and I think it would benefit you as well. So the first reason that we're going to talk about today is why people may not get the promotion that they desire, especially after they're going through interview processes, or they just get looked over when it comes to their application, especially if they're applying within an internal company, is that they have outside interests that are incompatible. Okay, I'll say that one more time. They have outside interests that are incompatible. So what you do outside the job should not affect the on the job itself and should not have an effect on your job itself. But unfortunately, we've come to realize through doing research and observations that that's become untrue. Everybody likes surrounding themselves with people of similar interests, and the workplace is no exception. Management may have a preference for promoting people with certain interests, such as sports, religion, or even family status. For example, management may prefer single people who don't have a family obligations to compete with their jobs, or they may see single people as more likely to be party animals who go out and hang out all the time. Now, you probably seen some of these, for example, as well. This is just some ideas I want to share with you as it relates to this. Okay, management teams may also see the job as extending into social activities. So, have you ever worked in an organization where management was particularly fond of drinking after work or at extracurricular activities? And some people have, and they learn that if you're not a drinker, then it makes your status in that organization appear to be a lot lower. Okay, so you probably have worked in companies that made regular practice of attending after work happy hour, some purposely scheduled meetings after working hours, and at venues that even serve alcohol. Each meeting seamlessly melds into happy hour. And so if this is ringing a bell for you, then maybe you want to maybe pay a little bit closer attention right here, okay? In such environments, it often seems as if management is looking for drinking buddies more than competent, productive employees. If you notice that the prominent people in the department or organization seem to have a common bond of certain extracurricular activities that you don't share, the likelihood of getting promoted will be greatly reduced. All right, now let's talk about this idea for a second. So, once again, I would say all the research that I've done has demonstrated to me that when people aren't being promoted when they think that they should, and I've done research in multiple places, internally, externally, secondhand research, all those types of things, more likely than not, it's a culture incongruency with the values of the person that is trying to be promoted. All right, I'll say that one more time. It's a culture incongruency with the values of the person that's trying to be promoted. So just like in this example I gave you right here, where somebody is literally not fitting in well with the people in the organization or the management team of the organization because they don't go out for drinks or go to happy hours after work is done, that just tells me that it's probably not the kind of company you want to keep. So why would you keep yourself in that company? That's actually really good. I hadn't thought about that before. Now, see, what I want to encourage you to do is decide for yourself, am I willing to change and create a habit that I don't agree with in order to fit in with this leadership and management team? If that answer is no, then I'm glad you've acknowledged that. Now it's probably time for you to look for outside income or outside opportunities of leadership that are not involved and not directly related to that company. Now, now everybody's not going to care about that particular thing, right? So if you are that kind of person, that's the first step I want you to take in regards to that, okay? Now, let's say you are that kind of person where you don't mind going to a happy hour a few times a week with your coworkers and management team so you can build stronger relationships with them and also maybe even learn more about the company itself, how they're doing over a few simple drinks here and there, okay? If that's something that you're okay with, then I think you should do that, but also be responsible, okay? Don't put yourself in a position where you're drinking, now you're drunk, where you can't even put together sentences and words, and you're not even demonstrating value to the team that you can be a high level leader. Okay, so I think this is a very thin line. I personally wouldn't flirt with that line, but I know a lot of people do. Just the other day, I actually was speaking to a young lady, and she came back from a work event at a pretty popular place not too far from here, where there was games, activities, drinking, food, all of those things. And she, afterwards, she was torn up in the sense of being inebriated, and really was. I didn't like seeing this person this way, but hey, that's my opinion and what I saw. But that's the way she came back. So my thought process was, well, if that's okay and that was acceptable, then maybe that's just not the work environment that's meant for me. Okay, so you have to take that same approach whenever you're thinking about who you want to be leading and the people you want to be around as you're leading. Okay, so that's a very big one and step right there. So if you're watching this video, you're somebody that likes to go out to happy hour and hang out with coworkers, and you think that is a fine thing, and by all means, continue to do that. And if you see that that's a way for you to kind of get in and move closer to the people that are in those positions of leadership, then you definitely want to do that. But just be mindful, protect yourself in that regard, and don't put yourself in positions where you can't reverse that which you've done because you've gone above the limit or threshold where that's acceptable. Okay, that would be my advice to you there. Let's talk about another reason why you may not be getting promoted. And this is a big one for a lot of people, but it says that someone doesn't like you. Someone doesn't like you. So we kind of save this one for a second one because sometimes it is the most obvious, depending on how well you connect and talk to people. But if your boss or your bosses or your boss's boss or one of your boss's informant, first lieutenant doesn't like you, you won't be promoted. You may even spend a lot of time in the doghouse despite being one of the most productive members of the staff. but personal preferences do have an effect on promotions. Right? Personal preferences do have an effect on promotions. In fact, they are the central to the existence of the organization. The problem is that organizations can often resemble popularity contests. It's like high school all over. And I've worked in those environments, so I know exactly what this is all about. And the rules are the same. I'm guessing that everyone has been on the losing side of this arrangement, and usually that is the case. It doesn't matter how well you do in your job, or even what other people in your department or your organization, or even the customers and clients think about you. If the people who are in a position to promote you don't like you on a personal level, your future with the organization is extremely limited. All right. Now, there's a very good book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. I think that's a great book for somebody to actually read. So if you're listening to this right now, you probably heard of Dale Carnegie. I think that's a fantastic book. So if you actually want to check that book out, I think it would help you in this area of people not liking you. Now, you can't stop people from hating on you. People are going to do that, especially if somebody's performing well. But you should be putting yourself in a position to where your work shines and you are not looked at in a way that is threatening in the personality sense. I actually recently did a video about that. It's about called of not don't be a threat. You know, because when you're a threat to your managers and your leadership team, then they definitely don't want to promote you in that regard. Okay, so that's just one thing I want to. Very simple there. All I would say is continue to work on yourself. You make sure that you realize you will have haters. They will come whether you want them to or not. And that's not a bad thing because you can't stop people from hating on you. But equally, and hopefully more so, you'll have people that don't hate on you and actually want to help you get to the next level that you perceive or are pursuing to get to. Okay, and just some last final thoughts about some dark things and reasons why a lot of people in your position don't get promoted, and sometimes you're just in the wrong place. And I've already mentioned that before. So we talked about over the last few videos how you can identify if something is going on with you versus if something is going on with people around you and outside of you. And if that's where you are, if you're in a place where you're in the wrong place, then you just need to seek opportunities in a different department or a different employer or move into a different opportunity or career to take your skills somewhere else where you're not held back by being in an environment that's not meant for you. Okay. The example I'll share with you here is that a very competent and highly productive coworker once was working in an organization where he was never going to be promoted. He changed jobs and was immediately made the department head of the new company. So you might have to do the same thing. The other reason is that I want to help you understand that when you seem like you're under attack on your job, it may have nothing to do with your performance at all. You may be doing everything right, but you're being attacked because of the incompetence and insecurity of the people higher up in the chain of command. So if you've experienced some of these situations before, don't worry, you're not alone. I've experienced it at least a little bit, at least I felt like I did. And once I kind of got past that feeling and applied myself in different ways and applied myself at a higher level, I actually was able to have success. But if you feel like you've done that and that's not with the results that you've been able to get over the last 6 months, for sure, that's probably more than long enough, then it's probably time for you to adjust and go a different direction. So coming to the end of the video, I want to ask that you leave a comment below and let me know what is it that you think you're dealing with, struggling with, and going through right now as it relates to earning your next promotion. And we're going to engage, and I hope that this video is valuable to you and you found value in it as well to help you get past this particular area of circumstance or trouble for you. Okay, so that's very important there. A couple things that's coming up on the horizon. We have launched a Patreon, so if you want to actually get connected to me on a little bit stronger and deeper level, it's going to be a we have a free side and we also have a paid side. Obviously, with pay, you get a little bit more value with me, where we share exclusive content on leadership development and how you can effectively lead yourself and those around you. We also go into specific skills of leadership, so and teaching you tactical things that you can do to really earn your promotion in the next 3 to 4 months. And if you're really ambitious, obviously a lot sooner than that. And if you've been working on earning a promotion for, in your mind, this is a long time and you're not getting any progress, even aren't moving forward, it's probably because you're missing one or two critical awareness hacks that can propel you to getting where you want to be in a very relatively short period of time. And when I say relative, I'm talking about less than 60 days. Okay. Now, and then lastly, what I would say is, so if you want to become a part of our Patreon group, you can actually click and look for the link in the description below. If you want to learn more about the reasons why people are struggling to get promoted and maybe some things that you can overcome and think through to overcome, you can click a link to the article to the 7 dark reasons why good people don't get promoted. Learning number 6 actually made a huge difference in my mind and helped me get past a lot of the things that I was struggling with internally. And then lastly, we want to make sure that you get access to the free ebook that we've created, the 6 biggest mistakes that most leaders make when working to earn their next promotion. All right, very, very impactful ebook you can download and in the description as well. So thank you for being a visitor and member of this particular YouTube channel. Once again, we ask that you like the video if you liked it. We ask that you comment below. Let me know something that you got from this video. And we ask that you do subscribe. We are working to increase our subscriber count so that we can get our word and messages out to a lot more people on the subject of leadership. And then lastly, we ask that you share the video with someone you think would benefit from it, especially if you benefited from it and were able to get knowledge and insight as well. So thank you guys so much for your attention and your time. We look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.